Barbara McKenna with ATN. I'm here in the town of Borden-Carleton where some islanders are going to gather together a little later this morning to protest the federal carbon tax, which was raised again this morning, April 1st, 2024. Now, they plan to join together from all over the island, and they're going to protest at the Confederation Bridge a little later this morning. They say the carbon tax is unnecessary, and they believe it's really having an impact on their quality of life. Why is it so important to you that you come all the way here and,
I got 3 kids to feed, and it's costing me a lot to feed them. I'm only on EI, and it's only drawing me so much money to feed my kids.
But there is a rebate, though.
I don't get it.
Why not?
Because I make just a little too much, I guess. I haven't got a check for a rebate. I don't know.
You haven't got a carbon tax rebate?
Never got one.
They say they give them every 3 months.
They said they're giving them every 3 months, and I talked to any working class person right now, and they're not getting one.
And did you drive here today?
Yeah.
And what about a lot of people are going to say, well, these people are driving in a protest, wasting gas to go there to make a point about gas.
Yeah, but that's the way of our protest has to happen. That's the way of our right. That's the way we can do things.
So what do you mean, to draw attention to yourself?
Well, I sooner draw people to come here.
So what would you like people to know, the main thing from this protest?
If the carbon tax is gone, we all go home.
And how long do you plan to stay there?
As long as it takes. If it's done today, we'll go home today. But if it's not done, we're here till all week.
Really?
Yep. Money is the thing. We're gonna go bankrupt anyway, so might as well be down.
You know what this is all about. It's tax to tax. It's like being taxed too much. How are people going to afford to keep going in life? This is for generations down the road. We just can't keep on with this. It's going to be on everything, every type of commodity, and whatever's being sold. It ain't just groceries and gas. This comes down to vehicle parts, to farm machinery, to fishing. It's going to hurt tourism coming into PEI. It's a spin-off of bad taxes is what it is. It's just going to hurt the whole economy.
The government would argue that it's like a tax for people who produce more carbon. So if you drive more, you're driving a great big truck. If you drove a smaller vehicle, you wouldn't be spending so much.
Yeah, well, you could look at it that way, but then what about all these tractor trailers? How's your food going to go on your table? You're going to have an electric tractor trailer hauling stuff around? The weather for us here in Canada, just this here electric stuff is just, it can't go. It's cold, these things, everybody, that anybody looks into this situation, with electric vehicles, that it being cold, they got no distance to go, it just can't go.
What about the massive record profits that the petroleum companies are making? Why don't you protest that?
Well, we're not too impressed with that either. You got a point on that. I must say that. They are, and the government doesn't do anything really about that either.
But we have people like you are mad at a carbon tax, which is like 3 cents, when they're making humongous
3 cents? Wait till 2030. Have you done the arithmetic yet, lady? How much is it going to be then? And by 2030, you'll have it's at what? Today at $80 a ton, it's going to $170 if we keep letting this go.
But that brings us kind of right to what the carbon tax is all about. Some people think we won't be around in 2030 because of climate change, because of global warming, and what's flooding and fires.
Yes, have you looked back years ago too about global warming? There's been high-rise waters and all this years and years and years ago, and there was no carbon like we got now. What's the excuse?
All the fires last summer were set.
So
yes,
you don't think climate change is real then?
Well, it could be, and I don't really think so. I've seen it back. If you do anything in history, you can see where this all went on before.
So what's the plan here? If everybody's parked along the
Well,
side?
there's a more convoy coming here from down east now. You'll see what's see what goes on then. I was in Ottawa before, and it was a lot of fun. It was the best time of my life. It was the best vacation I ever went on. It was the most nicest people, so peaceful. It was unreal. All the media people portrayed that all totally different, especially the mainstream media. Like, it really upset me to see what was broadcasted on TV and what was really going on there. It was like just a flip-flop.
But are you going to do the same thing today?
Not sure what's going to go on here today. Now, we'll just hang on and we'll see what goes on here.
Okay.
Don't cash those rebate checks either.
I am here in unity with my fellow brothers and sisters across Canada to give a presence, if anything. I think a lot of people have this idea in their mind that, we can scrap the carbon tax with enough, resistance and stuff. But to me, it's a bigger picture. We have a very corrupt government in Ottawa, scandal after scandal, whether it be SNC-Lavalin, the We Charity, whether it be a Rive scan. I've been watching all the CPAC, and yes, it's all politics and theater, but we're in desperate need of a change here in Canada. This is about more than the carbon tax. We would very much like our Prime Minister to step down.
So is this really an anti-Trudeau rally?
I cannot confirm or deny this is an anti-Trudeau rally. I don't speak for every other person. I am very against my government, but I am not here to, call for the abolishment of government. We need some change. We need people to wake up. We need the people to start looking into their politics, how their country is being run, where their taxes are going. The taxes, for instance, even if we're just on the taxes. How do you reduce, because this is about carbon emissions, right? So here in Canada, we have about 1.5, 1.7% carbon emissions, and we have a carbon tax.
But do you get the carbon tax rebate in your bank account?
I don't know if I get the carbon tax rebate. I guess I do. But are we going to talk about what we pay and what we get?
Well, the government says you can get more in the rebate than what you pay, especially if you're driving.
Well, that's funny because the parliamentary budget officer says different. The parliamentary budget officer said something to Trudeau and ran his numbers, but when we run the actual numbers, see, this is about a filter down system, right? And it is about behavior. We know Stephen Guilbeault. Hi, Stephen Guilbeault. We love you here in PEI, bud. You want to stop building our roads? Well, I'm a delivery driver. I very much need the roads to be in good condition to do my job. The carbon taxes do not help. And this is about a behavioral change for Canada.
So how is the protest, this protest today, like wearing a flag and coming out and making noise in Borden, how's that going to change anything?
Well, it probably won't change anything. I never said personally that I was here to change anything. I'm here for a presence, an opposition to my government, their policies, their legislature. We're done. Too much stuff is going through. Canadians are suffering. We've got housing crisis. We've got immigration crisis. There's nowhere for anyone to live. Rent has doubled. We have had enough as Canadians.
What brings you here today, Mark?
Stand for our rights and get rid of this tax and get rid of this government is what I'm all for.
So a lot of people are saying this is a carbon tax rally, but the more I talk to people, it seems to be an anti-Trudeau rally.
Well, because everybody's got that same feel. Of course, we're going to stand up to get rid of the tax, but everybody's got that feel to get rid of him, period. He's destroying this country. And that's my opinion. It's always been since he's been in.
What is the plan here today?
I don't know. I was hoping it would have turned out bigger, but obviously some people just don't care yet. They're not ready for getting rid of taxes. They must like it or something. I don't know.
A lot of people would say that you get a rebate every 3 months in your bank account.
Okay, so you're going to get a $150 rebate when he took $7,000 from you. Well, I don't see the point in that. I just don't.
Did he take $7,000 from
Well,
you?
not $7,000, but you know what I mean. He's taking more than he's giving you back. Think about it. When they take taxes, they're not going to give you exactly what they took back, or why would they take it at all?
Well, they say that most people get more back than they put in.
The only people this benefits is people that do not work. That's the only people. If they live in a city and they don't work, this benefits them, this taxing rebate, but not for the real working man that holds the country together.
But what about the petroleum producers who are making like record profits? What about them? Why don't you protest against them?
That needs to be changed. I'm not saying it don't need to be changed. The money should be equally out instead of one person getting it. There's our money for our country right there instead of one person hogging it, like how Alberta does the oil thing, but Quebec drains the money from them. And I'm glad for Danielle Smith for standing up for her own province. She's the only premier that has balls, other than Saskatchewan premier.
What about our own premier?
He don't do much here at all, that I can see. Do you see him here? I don't. And you ain't gonna. They already got the cops shutting down the borders in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, so people can't get there. So I'm 100% against this government and any government that don't want to help the people. All of our tax money that we have, that we put out, is all going to Ukraine right now. So that obviously we're paying too much taxes when we can put it out to another country.
So at the end of the day, about 100 vehicles and perhaps 300 people showed up in the town of Borden-Carleton to protest the federal carbon tax. But most people who were here were not only against a tax, but were against the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau himself. Barb McKenna, ATN News, Borden-Carleton.